The helicopter passed over your position 11 minutes ago. You counted. You watched it bank east toward the river, sweeping a searchlight across the tree line. Now it's circling back. You can hear the rotor wash building again, that distinctive thump getting closer. You're lying in a shallow depression covered with debris, breathing through your mouth to minimize the fog of your breath in the cold air. Your pack is buried under leaf litter 3 feet away. Your fire, the one you desperately needed last night, was never lit. And right now, the only thing between you and discovery is the quality of the decisions you made in the 30 minutes after you realized they were coming. 30 minutes. That's what you had. That's what you'll have if this ever happens to you. 30 minutes between "they're looking for me" and "the search grid reaches my position." In that half hour, you either become invisible or you become a cautionary tale. This isn't the fantasy version from survival fiction. This is the 30-minute ghost site protocol. When you realize you need to disappear, your brain is going to betray you. In the first 5 minutes, your job is to kill your instincts. Your first impulse will be to run. This is catastrophically wrong. Running creates sign, makes noise, and leaves a trail that any competent tracker can follow at a walking pace. The faster you move, the easier you are to track. Speed is a confession written in footprints. Your second impulse will be to find a defensive position, high ground, a spot where you can see them coming. This is also wrong. Defensible positions are obvious positions. They're the first places search teams check because they're the first places people go. Every rock outcropping with a view is a magnet for searchers. Your third impulse will be to hide in the thickest cover you can find. Wrong again. Thick cover draws attention because it looks like a hiding spot. The more obvious the concealment, the more likely it gets searched. In these first 5 minutes, you need to override every one of these impulses. Stop. Control your breathing and think like the people who are hunting you. Where would they look first? Don't go there. Where would they expect you to hide? That's the last place you want to be. You're not looking for the best position. You're looking for the overlooked position, the spot that makes no tactical sense, that's uncomfortable and inconvenient. That's where you're going to disappear. Now you need to move, but you move smart. Every step you take writes a story in the ground. You have to understand that different surfaces hold different amounts of information. Soft ground, mud, wet soil, moss is a detailed confession. Professional trackers call these surfaces track traps. A single footprint can tell you your approximate height, whether you were carrying a load, how fast you were moving. Avoid soft ground like it's radioactive. Hard ground is your friend. Rock, compacted clay, gravel, these surfaces don't take impressions well. A tracker can follow sign across hard ground, but it requires intense concentration and slows the pursuit dramatically. Route your movement across the hardest surfaces you can find. As you move, you're looking for your hide site. You want a terrain depression in a transitional zone, a spot where the landscape changes, where forest meets scrub, where two slopes create an uncomfortable fold that people naturally route around. These transitional zones create cognitive friction. The searching brain glosses over the messy details of these spaces. Your hide site needs to be in one of those glossed-over spaces. You've found your spot. It's uncomfortable. It's inconvenient. Perfect. Now you become part of the landscape, not camouflaged on top of it, integrated into it. Forget your tarp, your tent, anything you brought has geometric shapes and synthetic colors that scream artificial. A trained eye spots those patterns instantly. Your shelter is built from what's already here. Find a natural feature you can enhance, not a structure you build from scratch. A fallen log with space beneath it, a depression you can roof over. Lean dead branches against it at natural angles, not too regular, not arranged in any pattern. Then layer debris on top, leaves, pine needles, bark. The top layer should be identical to the surrounding forest floor because it should literally be the surrounding forest floor, relocated onto your shelter. You need depth, 6 inches of debris minimum,
thick enough that there are no visible gaps, no shadow that suggests hollow space. When you're done, stand back 10 feet and look. Circle it. Look for any shape, any color that doesn't match the background. If you can spot your shelter, so can a searcher. Fix it. The entrance should be small. You're going to crawl in and out. Your pack and gear go inside with you. While you're building, you need to think about what you can't see: infrared radiation. Your body is a 98.6-degree heat source, broadcasting your position to anyone with a thermal imager. Drones with these cameras are common. Visual concealment means nothing if they're running dogs. You probably can't defeat a good tracking dog that's on your trail. What you can do is defeat the handler. Dogs are tethered to humans, and humans have limitations, so you make the track difficult. Route your path through steep scrambles, boulder fields, anything that requires hands and careful footing. A fatigued handler becomes a handler looking for reasons to quit. And you create scent confusion. Before you reach your hide site, find an area and move through it in a spiral pattern, crossing your own trail multiple times. You deposit your scent everywhere with no clear directional trail. The dog smells you in every direction, and the handler often interprets this as losing the track. Your site is built, your trail is obscured. Now comes the hardest part: staying invisible. The discipline of the ghost site is the discipline of stillness. You leave for only absolute necessities, and when you do, you never use the same path twice. Food is cold, no cooking, no fires, nothing that generates smoke or smell. You're trading comfort for invisibility. You're cold, you're uncomfortable. That's the price. And your clothing can save you or kill you. There's a saying: cotton kills. Wet cotton loses all its insulating value and actively drains your body heat. In an evasion scenario, you wear wool or synthetics. They insulate even when wet. This is non-negotiable. But none of this matters if fear paralyzes you. Fear triggers tunnel vision, auditory exclusion, loss of fine motor control. You need to break the fear response before you can execute any of this. Start with your breathing. 4 counts in through the nose, hold for 4, 4 counts out through the mouth. Do this for 60 seconds. It counters the adrenaline dump and forces your brain from reactive mode into analytical mode. Accept fear as information, not instruction. Acknowledge it, set it aside, and execute the protocol. The people who survive aren't the ones who feel no fear. They're the ones who function despite it. This whole strategy works because of the psychology of search teams. A search is a resource allocation problem. There's always more ground than searches, more time needed than time available. So they use systematic shortcuts. They check high probability zones first, the logical routes, the obvious hiding spots. Your ghost site is built in a low probability zone. It's in terrain that's uncomfortable to search, in a location that doesn't fit the profile. You've made yourself improbable. They might walk right past you, not because they're incompetent, but because they're executing a rational strategy, and you have made yourself an irrational target. When it's over, when you leave, the site disappears behind you. Scatter your shelter, pull apart what you built, and let the forest reclaim it. You came in as a ghost. You leave the same way. The helicopter is circling back. You can hear it getting closer. 30 minutes. That was your window. In that half hour, you either built something that doesn't exist, or you built a trap with yourself inside. What did you build?